I am Rudolph Okonkwo. My co-host, Chido Anuma, is off today. On our show today, we have a guest who is watching all these stories out of Africa on her plasma TV with the help of Koledowo. Yes, she did not start paying attention to African stories today. She started a very long time ago. Take a look.
Unappreciated. Africa, Sahara to the Atlantic. Africa from Zululand to Yoruba land. Africa from Nile River to River Niger. Africa, rain and sunshine round the year. Africa with her greenery luster. Africa with coolness, calmness, a serenity unequal. Africa, your hospitality and warmth, taken for granted. Africa, ripped and left desolate, yet richly blessed. Africa, your children scattered all over the world, crying for you. Africa, you are simply mine.
Yes, that's our guest. She has been responsible for the removal of several presidents from power in Africa. Here is another example.
Mr. President, I know you can hear me. Yeah, you're pushing me, sir. You're pushing me. Sir, don't you think it's time to step down, sir?
It's okay.
Sir, don't you think it's time to step down?
Pardon.
Can you say something, sir? Do you think it's time to step down?
Which one?
How's your health? How are you feeling?
You know it. Sure.
Yes, that's our guest today. Without wasting more time, please welcome to the show, Adeola Fayehun. Adeola, welcome to the show.
Really, you had to go there.
I didn't even go far enough. I didn't go
like
far
really.
enough. Yeah, there was no time. But
there was no need to, all those.
Welcome. It's nice to have you. A lot of people have been demanding that we should have you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
We should have you. You are the right person to talk to today about Africa. So let's start with Tuesday in Kenya. There will be an election in Kenya for a new president. I know you've been watching. What do you think about what's going
on? So honestly, I wish that I could be in Kenya at a time like this, just to experience their election. Because I'm trying to see if there are things that we can learn from Kenya in terms of our election. I know they may disagree with me because everybody feels like, oh, they're yet to get it right. But do you remember the last time that they had an election in the Gambia? How they use this system that most people are not using, and we're all like, wow, this is very easy. They make it very easy, very simple, and we learned a few things with how they do election in the Gambia. So honestly, I wish that I could also do that. I wish I could also do that with the Kenyan election, because we have so much in common actually than our differences. But at the same time, I'm really curious to see how this election turns out. It's been very heated, and all the candidates, in my opinion, are interesting. And I would love to, first of all, see who wins, but also the whole electoral process. I watched an interview by BBC about how much money they spend on election in Kenya, and how the people are advocating that they shouldn't be spending so much on campaigns, I should say. But a part of me was laughing when I was watching that, when I was hearing the money that they were mentioning. Because, Nigerian officials, they spend way more than that. So I really would like to see how this election ends. I mean, how it turns out. So speaking of the candidates being interesting, I was really fascinated by some of the candidates, and I wonder whether or not the country is ready for candidates like that. It's just like Nigeria. So I'm really, really excited. I'm going through your comments, Dr. Damages, and the first one that stood out to me is by Oludare Ishola. And he says Adeola is getting fat. Wow. I think you're muted. I can't hear you, Rudolph. Okay, I hear you now.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we're going to get to all those things, how it is, the work you do, and comments by people. But let's move from Kenya to Nigeria. So Nigeria is planning to have elections next year, and you've been covering that. What is your take so far? What have you seen? What are the trends?
So I think we have so much in common. First of all, a lot of the candidates, forgive me that I'm eating my breakfast as we're talking. A lot of the candidates in Kenya, just like Nigeria, they come up with all these promises, right, Rudolph? But they don't necessarily tell you exactly how they will.
Reading the comments, just
exactly how they would do these things. They don't necessarily say. But it's so convenient, so easy to say, oh, I'm gonna fix your roads, I'm gonna give you stable electricity, we're gonna create jobs. That's a very popular one in every country. Remember how Buhari said they will create 1 million jobs? We're gonna create jobs, we're gonna fix your roads, we'll fix electricity, Boko Haram will be gone in 3 months. I think the popular candidates in Kenya are doing the same thing in terms of, telling us they will do this, they will do that. But to be honest with you, they are not being specific in terms of exactly how they will fix these things. So I think that's a common ground that we have with them. At the same time, a lot of the candidates, well, some of the candidates have criminal background or criminal record. Let me not say background, sorry, criminal record. And so the same thing is happening in Nigeria. We have so many candidates that are, that have had criminal records, and they're still running. They're still very bold. So believe it or not, we have so much in common. And then you have the people, the voters, tearing themselves apart, just like we do in Nigeria. People will kill for a candidate, and these candidates are actually not fighting amongst themselves, but the voters are always fighting to say my own candidate is better, my own candidate is the best. But I think there's a dynamic to what is happening in Kenya. First of all, the fact that the president is not supporting his own vice president, and he makes it public, he's not hiding it. In a way, it reminds me of Nigeria as well. I'm not saying that Buhari supported Osinbajo and that. I'm just saying Buhari's VP was also trying to be president. In Kenya, the president is not hiding in that he's not supporting the vice president. Also, the vice president, all eyes are on him in terms of his record. There was a time that he was voted the most corrupt politician in Kenya. But don't forget that on the same list, the president is also there. And also, Odinga is also on that list. And then I think the most fascinating thing happening in Kenya right now is seeing one of the most popular candidates is someone that wants to legalize the commercialization of cannabis. And to see how eloquent and how, the man, he's very smart. 16 degrees, this man has 16 degrees, and now he's a lawyer, well-read, well-traveled. And so I really, really am fascinated by all these candidates. I would love to see a woman candidate in Kenya soon. And it may look like I'm asking much because even in Nigeria, we have not. But I would love to see, a woman run for office in Kenya as well, or become the president of Kenya. And speaking of that, I've seen so many videos of women running and the challenges that they face, from not being taken seriously to people throwing sexual slurs at them and dismissing them just because they're women, and how they have to put in extra efforts just to prove themselves, and how in some communities they need to get the permission of their husband to do politics and stuff, and it's just crazy. So Kenyan election has been fascinating so far.
Okay, let's go to Nigeria. What is your take on the three main candidates? Peter Obi and Bola Tinubu.
Don't put me on the spot like that.
No, I mean, it's what you do every day. This one people who may not.
Wait. Did you just say Peter Obi and Bola Tinubu? Where did you put my father Atiku?
Who?
Still in the race.
Oh yeah, I know. I mentioned Atiku. Yeah, I mentioned that.
Did you? Okay.
Atiku.
They're all my fathers, by the way. I was just surprised that now you narrow it down.
Kwankwaso too is still running, of course.
I don't know. It's true. Shora is also running. Let's not forget.
No, we'll get to Shora. It's the next topic after.
No. We're not getting to Shora.
On Tinubu and no. Seriously, what do you think? I mean, what do you think about what appears to be a movement going on in Nigeria?
Did you see the video of Peter Obi's supporters in Nasarawa State?
Yes, I saw that. And what do you think about that?
It's definitely a movement.
No, that's not that. No, what are you concerned about
his campaign has been a movement, really.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when was that? When Obama was campaigning? 2008. Wow, it's been that long. Yeah. And I remember when Obama started, there were a lot of people who didn't take him seriously. And there were a lot of people, even people that liked him, that would say things like, well, if only he could win. A lot of people say that now about Peter Obi, like, the only thing is he won't win. I'm not saying he would win or not. But people would say things like, wow, like I've seen a lot of people that would say things like, wow, they really like Peter Obi, except that he's not going to win. I saw a lot of that when Obama was running for office. And gradually he started gaining, his campaign started gaining momentum, and more people knew about him. And like joke or like play, as they say, he won. So Peter Obi's campaign has been a movement, really. And for the first time, you see the young people that came out to register to vote. He has inspired a lot of people. Whether he knows it or not, he has inspired a lot of people, especially young people. He's to a lot of young Nigerians right now, he's like a symbol of hope. Now, okay, this is someone that is younger and that they believe in. And then you have a contrast with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because in terms of age, and then in terms of his campaign strategy has been different. Like Bola Ahmed Tinubu's campaign has been about, just going by the things that he had said, like, Emiloka, it's my turn. Things like feed young people cassava, feed them, just some of the things that he has said. And this whole glorification of broom. I have no idea who is going to win, who is going to be president. But I really appreciate the fact that now people are using the modern, when I saw the video of the Nasarawa rally for Peter Obi, a lot of the comments were people saying things like, the most wonderful thing is that these people were not paid. They came out of their own. I don't have a proof for that. But I think that is inspiring to see people come out. And then we have the other candidates who, to me, are still playing like the traditional politics that we play in Nigeria. So I don't want to shoot myself in the leg.
You don't want to go for that, but let's look at this. Over this last few months, we've touched on several issues. The certificate issues with the school,
People are waiting for me to post the response of the school. The school is here to respond to me. I don't know why.
Adeola, ignore these people who are coming. Just let's talk first.
No, I'm not even talking about the comment. I'm just saying, I called the school.
Deal with the comments. So there's a time for them to join us, and we will get that. So we talk about the certificate issues, issues about with Bola Tinubu article, issues of the name, the proper name. There's so many things that they come in and they go. How do you deal with this? Because people tend to accuse people like us of not sticking with these issues. So we sweep it aside and move on to other issues. And
no, we're sticking with the issue. I'm sticking with the issues. I mean, I've done so many episodes on the candidates, like with each development. When Peter Obi went to Egypt to learn how to fix Nigeria, we talked about it. When the certificate issue came up, we talked about it. I even called the school. Every single move, like, I have been, I've tried. It's not like I've been on top of everything. But that just shows me how quickly Nigerian politics changes. So it's been, for me, eye-opening. And it's been a lot of work because there were times that I would shoot something and by the time we're done editing, the story has changed.
Go ahead.
So I don't know what would happen tomorrow. Now I shoot something and I have to put it out like ASAP. Because things keep changing. And so I think there's a lot of drama. It's like on my show now, I tell people that if you're tired of Nollywood or watching movies, just watch Nigerian movies. So that's why it's kind of hard to be on top of everything because things keep changing.
Okay, let me play a video before we continue of you.
Thank you. Covering some of the stolen money, stolen by corrupt government officials that were there in the past. How true is this, and like how much have you been able to recover?
I can't give figures now, and because of the legal implications, it's much easier to talk. But what we are doing, we are collecting documents. For example, every ship that is loading Nigerian crude from our terminals is supposed to record how much it has taken and on behalf of who is lifting it.
So you've been focusing a lot on corruption since you were sworn in, and a lot of Nigerians applaud this. However, some people are saying that the economy has not been doing so well since you were sworn in, and they would like to know when will you start focusing on the economy as well?
How many months is it? It has taken the previous government about 10 years to destroy Nigerian economy, and it's much more easier to destroy than to build. I don't think Nigerians are being fair if they expect us within the 3 months or 4 months we have the government has come to turn things around.
All right. So Adeola she's gone. Where is Adeola? This has never happened on 90 Minutes Africa. All right. When she comes back, we are going to talk about her perspective on what happened with the Buhari's government. Why did the government fail? Someone said rapture. what Nigerians should be concerned about with the next administration. We're also going to hear from her about Shore and his campaign, and then so many other things. Let's see what's happening to Adeola. Why she decided to bail on us. Meanwhile, let me while we wait for her to come back, let me also play her encounter with President Goodluck Jonathan on the streets of New York City.
Question: what exactly you are doing to help to stop Boko Haram? I know that you declared state of emergency and all that.
We are working very hard on that.
Yeah, how exactly, sir?
We are working very hard.
And 3,000 people have died.
Maybe you need to update your statistics.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you. He's our president. It's okay if he talks to us. Oh, please, let me take a picture with him. No. Just get me next to him. You got me, right? You got me? Thank you, Mr. President. You're actually a nice person. I do a show every week and I talk about you.
Thank you.
I hope you're watching it.
All right. I'm sorry. I have to figure out what's going on. Some people are saying it has never happened. Okay. All right. Let me take a break, and I will be right back. We'll figure out what's happening. In the meantime, let's watch a little bit more of Adeola.
For days, of course, people were like, why would a man of God, an anointed man of God, use policemen to harass a lady and put her in prison without trial? Only for the lady in prison to tell the whole world that she had an affair with the man of God for a whole year. We were like, no way, the devil is a liar. Once again, everything is allegedly, so don't let anybody quote me. She said that Suleiman was giving her thousands of dollars and taking her around the world, and that they were doing it together.
This man licks me from head to toe. He said I make him speak in tongues.
Stop it! Do you really have to play that? So she said that Suleiman got her pregnant and then proposed to her, and that she accepted his proposal, that he said he was going to divorce his wife, and then he told her to move to Nigeria, and she did. Upon getting to Nigeria, he allegedly gave her some juice, after which she was bleeding and she lost the baby. She also said that she was bleeding for months and that she almost died. So from that time on, she said that she could no longer reach the man of God like she used to, and he was threatening her. She believed that the man of God didn't want her to have the baby because that would have been an evidence of the affair, and that all they would have to do would be DNA test, and that because he would have more control over her in Nigeria, that's why he lured her to Nigeria in order to get rid of the pregnancy. Me, I don't know. But on March 3rd, Stephanie's lawyer, that is Festus Keyamo, wrote Apostle Suleiman. The letter said Apostle Suleiman broke her heart after promising to marry her and after getting her pregnant. So she's demanding for 500 million naira as damage control. Ladies and gentlemen, the very same day the letter came out was when Apostle Suleiman sent policemen to pick her up, to beat her, and to put her in Kirikiri prison. Stop right there. Just for 1 minute, my people. Forget that this man is a pastor, okay? Let's just assume he's a regular guy. If somebody should send you this kind of letter and you know that you are innocent and they're asking for 500 million, would you send police to go and beat them up and put them in prison? Especially considering the fact that this same man of God told everybody that he didn't know Stephanie, that he did not know her. He said that he has never met her, but he had her put in prison. Also, after they put her in prison, he charged her with terrorism. Terrorism.
All right. That's a little bit of okay, she's back. Very good. So
New York network, for how do I say?
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm in my village, sorry.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming back. And so let's continue to look at Nigeria and the politics before we get into other things. I wanted you to talk about characters like Suleiman, but before we move to other things, Showore, you know him. He's running for president. What is your take on his efforts? And
I'm always excited when I see people go beyond, just talking about the issues in Nigeria to, trying to make a difference, trying to do something about it. I don't think that we would understand the impact of Showore running. This is the second time that he's running until later on, because I feel like, believe it or not, he has inspired a lot of young Nigerians. I'm not saying he's young, he's 50 something, but a lot of young Nigerians to, go beyond talking online to, actually trying to make a difference. So, and the only thing that confused me is that I don't know if you can be a politician and an activist at the same time, because then people may get confused. But now that I said it, I actually think you can, because there are some politicians they're politicians, but they're still advocating, especially for things that is beyond their power. So, but he does it all like simultaneously. So I think as an activist, he inspires people, and he has decided to continue doing that while being a politician at the same time. So I think that one of the great things that come out of, I remember like 4 years ago, Shawira was also like a beacon of hope for a lot of people. I remember people were donating money for him left and right. He was traveling the world, to campaigns, very just like what Peter Obi is doing now, except I would say on a bigger scale with Peter Obi, because like when you see the rallies for him, like the one that we saw in Ashrawa yesterday, so it's been inspiring, to say the least, to see when Nigerians go beyond, just talking online to actually trying to make a difference.
All right. I played a video of you interviewing Buhari when
I saw that
months after he took over.
he became president.
And you sounded as if you were hopeful that he will make an impact. What happened?
I was very hopeful.
What happened?
We all were hopeful. What happened? I don't know if that question is for me or for Buhari.
For you, I mean, based on your assessment, he's one of your fathers,
I know all of them are my fathers, right?
Yeah. So you know what happened.
You are my father.
You should know what happened.
I don't think I personally did a good job in my research about him. Because not until recently, when this whole, giving money to Niger, consulting train to Niger, not until then did I, it's like, seriously, what is this fascination with, or this obsession with Niger Republic? And I got to understand that his dad is from Niger Republic. He was born in Nigeria, but his dad is from Niger Republic. His mom is from Bono. And I was like, oh God, like, he's not a real Nigerian. Not in the sense of the man is more loyal to his father's country. His loyalty is not even with. And I was like, why the heck didn't you contest to be president of Niger Republic? You're obviously more loyal to Niger Republic. Why can't you just go and be president of Niger Republic? Why do you have to compete to be Nigerian president when your loyalty is with another country? Do you see that as a serious conflict of interest right there? He's been the biggest disappointment in terms of the leaders that we've had in Nigeria. I was so hopeful. I was so hopeful to the point where some people would say, oh, you collected money from Buhari. I mean, they accuse me of collecting money from every politician. If I talk about APC, they will say PDP has paid me. If I talk about PDP, they will say APC has paid me. It's hard to keep track of my sponsors, as you know. So I think what happened was the people around him, the moment they saw the trajectory of his government, Because, at the time that I interviewed him, he hadn't even announced his ministers. He was new in office when I interviewed him. And then the second time that I tried to interview him, you know what happened? You were there in that room. First of all, they didn't allow one-on-one interview because by then we could see where things were going a little bit. This was 2017, I think. And we were trying to interview him. After agreeing, when we got there, they said, no, it will be press conference. And then there was no, and they didn't even have it in mind to actually have a real press conference. Remember, after he came in reading this long speech that made my stomach turn. And then after that, he wanted to leave. He wanted to take pictures with the media and then leave. And then you remember what happened when they said that? Okay. I don't want to bore your viewers by telling them this story.
Now let's look at another person that was I know you interviewed him again, the vice president of Shibajo. I don't know what is your take on how he was treated by the APC or what happened to him.
I didn't interview him again. I wanted to interview him when he was in the race. And his people say that after he wins the primaries. Unfortunately, he didn't win the primaries. So you were asking my opinion about how he was treated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think my father miscalculated. You know what I mean? I'm always giving them advice on my show. I'm like, daddy, do this so your life can be better. Give your life to Christ, and your life never remain the same.
What did you advise him that he ignored?
For a long time, I was like, if you are not part of what is happening, because everything is going haywire. This government has been the worst that we've had. If you don't support everything that is happening, step down as vice president. I personally think if he had stepped down, either join another party or form his own party. I'm sorry to say, but he would have been the Peter Obi of today. Peter Obi is very, very popular right now. Did you see the video of him at Dunamis Church?
Yes, we have that video.
And when I saw that video, the first thing that came to my mind was, I wonder how the vice president's people feel seeing this video. The whole, Peter Obi, when the biggest church, they were screaming. And then he knelt down, something very peculiar to that the GO of the vice president. He knelt down and they were screaming, he knelt down to worship God, to pray and stuff like that. And I said to myself, then the vice president and his people right now would wish that this was the vice president. I think if he had stepped down and then decided to run again, that he would have been people's love right now. That's just a personal opinion.
Let me play that video for our viewers, a little bit of it before we continue.
And we also have with us tonight Mr. Peter Obi, who has joined us in for the service this evening. Hallelujah.
All right. You just said that this could have been the vice president if he had. But there are some people who are saying that this could also have been sure, right? But why didn't that?
So what went wrong, Rudolph? Why do you think it's not sure?
I don't know. I'm the one talking to you, interviewing.
No, we are talking to each other.
Yeah, sure. You can ask me. I'm prepared to answer questions.
We're talking to each other. I think Shore could have played his game better. And I know this is not a game, but maybe I should say he could have played his politics better. one of the things that people appreciate about Peter Obi is his humility. I'm not saying that Shore is not humble. And simplicity, you know. So, if I remember correctly, after Shore ran the first time, there were some issues that came up by his own, party members. I don't think that he addressed them well. I think he addressed them, but with this idea of, oh, it's just politicians that were behind them that are making them ask these questions and they're being sponsored. So, but not everything is, people being sponsored. Not everyone is being sponsored. They're all like your supporters. They're, trying to get you into office. It's just courteous to just, be straightforward with them. So I don't know, but I think that might have hurt the continuity of things. Also, when he started the Revolution Now movement, then it was like overnight he switched from being a candidate campaigning to going back full time to being an activist. So there has to be a line. Not that you can't, be an activist with what you do, but I feel like he could have, played his politics better. But what do I know, Rudolph?
You don't know anything. All right, we have so much to get to, but and I know we don't have a lot of time. You are not staying as long as we wish to have you, but let me get to the job you do. What are the toughest thing about this thing you do? This keeping it real. What is there are things that people don't know because people just watch it and they don't know how this is done. I know you have help from Color the War, and but what are the toughest part of that job?
Eating while you're doing it, and you don't have time.
Don't make me go. Eating while you are doing it. No, what is it? Because people see these things.
You don't have time to eat. It's hard.
Now, no. There are some serious issues I want you to talk about. Like, I read a video of you talking about Apostle Suleiman. Have you had a lot of pushbacks from people?
Oh. One other thing I forgot to say about Shore, sorry. I think he also did himself some disservice by not necessarily attacking Peter Obi, but I just feel like if you're running for president, just run your own race. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying this because it's Shore, I would say it because it's anyone. Like run your own race. There was this video where he was talking about how Peter Obi has no structure. I just feel like in that instance, he was doing himself. So does that make people want you more if you're trying to put down another candidate? And that's one of the things I really like about that professor in Kenya that wants to legalize commercialization of cannabis. He said it. He's like, you would never hear me say anything bad about other candidates. They're actually the ones that have paid way for me to be here today. I'm not supporting them. I'm not campaigning for them, but you would never hear me say anything bad about them. Everybody runs their own race the way they want. They run it differently. So I feel like if he hadn't done that, well, I feel like him doing that hurt his campaign a bit. He may not see it like that, by the way. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. But there's just no need to, try to attack.
Okay. What happened to Adeola again? All right. While we wait for her to join us again. Okay. Adeola, what's going on? Are you in? Okay.
I'm in the market.
All
No,
right.
you know what I noticed? Remind me after this, because I shared this on my Facebook page, and it's not playing. I'm realizing that your Facebook is not linked to this, so we need to go.
Yeah. Because this 90 Minutes Africa, so it's linked to 90 Minutes Facebook, not my own personal Facebook.
Oh, okay. Let me find it and share that. And
Yeah, 90 Minutes Africa Facebook, so you can yeah, that's what.
90 Minutes Africa, because I like to share that on my page so that people
Okay.
can watch it there instead of having to come to YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah, the question that you asked.
Yeah. What are the challenges? What are the things that people don't see?
With this job that we do. Oh, awesome. I've seen the one on your Facebook page. Awesome. I'm about to share on my page. I just did. Awesome. There's a lot of challenges to doing just with anything that you do, there's a lot of challenges to doing what we're doing. I think for me, you have to first of all fight for the right to be heard. Does that make sense? You have to win people's heart and earn the right to be heard. I think that's the first thing. That was the first challenge. People needed to know, can they trust you? And I'm so excited that today there are so many YouTubers, talking about current affairs. When we started, you and I, when we started, there weren't that many talking about what was happening in Nigeria. And I remember at the time, a lot of people would say things like, get a real job, Who are you to talk about this? And then me being a woman, it was on another scale. This is why you don't have a boyfriend. You will never find a man because you are too loud. They talk too much. You're a woman. What do women know about politics? Go back to the kitchen. I remember doing an episode on Buhari talking about his wife belonging to the kitchen. I started by by cooking in my kitchen, I'm like, guys, there's no show today. Adeola is back to the kitchen because according to the president, this is all we are meant to do. And so I think you first of all had to earn the right to be heard and to be trusted. And then you want to reach as many people as possible, but even that is work. In Nigeria, for example, a country of 200 million people, look at the number of subscribers that we have. It's not even a tip of the iceberg, and it's not even a drop in the bucket. So we're doing all this work, but then at the end of the day, the ratio of people seeing it compared to the population, and that's just Nigeria. Let's talk about the rest of Africa. Sometimes you wonder, is anybody even seeing what you're doing? And then you knew how I started when I went solo. And let me know if this is when you want me to talk about that and share my amazing pictures.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
But I learned, over the years, it's just start from where you are. You know what I mean? You don't have to have everything perfect, but just start from where you are. Use whatever you have to get what you don't have at the time. You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have everything perfect. You can do so much with little. That has been my story. And then you have to constantly be on top of your game in terms of following the news, knowing what is happening, which can be a lot, especially if you still want to have a life. It can be overwhelming. It can be so much. So I think for me, some of the challenges have been like funds. When you think about people that do what we do in America, people that are in this line in America are people that are doing like the late night shows, for example. The number of people that work with them, Rudolph, like on the Daily Show, how many people work with them?
I went to see David Letterman, and they have over 300 people working at the Late Show with David Letterman. Yeah, more than 300 people. So you have only Koledo. Now, let me also talk about. I want you to talk about how do you handle viewers?
Do you know what we can do with 300 people?
How do you handle comments? Comments that are critical, that are wrong, that are based on imagined idea of your life, and how do you respond to that?
Imagined idea of my life.
No, yeah, because there are comments like that, and of course, people who tend to attack you when you talk about certain things. Who are the most difficult group that you've dealt with?
Yeah, you want me to
just tell us.
Rudolph, I think if you do this kind of job that we do, you have to die to yourself, just like they teach in church. You die to yourself and then you put on Christ. Not to be honest, I've actually learned a lot from you. Like, honestly, nobody can insult Rudolph. Like, it doesn't matter what anybody says. It never gets to you. You're so ridiculous that you would take a comment that is abusing you and then you will expatiate on that comment and say things like, if only the village people will turn back or leave me alone, maybe I would have done better. I'm sorry on behalf of my village people. And then at the end of the day, the person insulting you will start laughing because they're like, you can't even get through to him. You know, I've learned so much from you, Rudolph, so thank you. I don't do comments. I see comments and I'm like, thank God they're watching. At least this tells me they're watching. I don't do comments, but I think one of the struggles, or let me not say struggles, one of the challenges of what we do is sometimes when people try to get into our personal life, or maybe when they accuse us of things that are not true. And the reason I'm saying this is something happened recently, this week that we just ended. I posted a picture of me, saying that happy new month on August 1st. Trying to see if I can find that that picture. So I posted it, just saying happy new month, greeting people. And then I went over the comments and lo and behold, there was someone, talking about how I should stop bleaching my skin. Now, I have dark spots on my knees, which I should work on, but maybe someday. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm trying to see if I can, find that picture as I'm talking. So I then I saw that comment and I was like, not again. Like, why do people do this and stuff like that? So I said, oh, let me cause trouble on Facebook. And then I posted that comment and I was like, how do I respond to this, my mother? So I didn't need to do that. So then I said that. I don't know if you're able to see it.
No, I can't see it. Unless
So I put that on the screen.
Yeah.
And some people were abusing her. That was not my intention, like for people to abuse her. I was just wondering, how do I respond to people? I was just wondering, how do I respond when someone says things like this? That's why I asked that question.
Okay.
So, but people were abusing her, and I felt bad, so I took it down. And then when I now brought it up with Victor, he was like, "Well, I've told you not to. Like, you were not supposed to do that." So that's the picture. I don't know if it's showing.
No, it's showing here. I know. I should have given you. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see if I can add this here.
Yeah. So I think maybe because they saw the dark spot on my knees. Anyways, not to cut the long story short, Victor was like, this person commented, and maybe a few people saw it, but when you highlighted their comment, then everybody saw it, and I felt really bad. I took it down. That wasn't my intention. But I learned every day that with what we do, you have to be really careful. Every little thing that you do can be magnified and turn it. Even my email, I tell my guys, I say, when you respond to my email, please keep in mind that anything you write can be published. Especially when you're the one criticizing people, you have to be extra careful, because there are people, believe it or not, who are waiting for any excuse to say, see, we knew you're not better, or also this kind of person you are. So I think every single day you wake up, when you do what we do, you have to consciously wear this outfit called humility and be there to yourself. Have no feelings at all. If anybody abuses you, yabs you, just pray for them, move on, because their abuse will not be publicized, but your response will be made public. And I mean, look at what happened to Will Smith. I feel bad for the man, for both of them actually. And in like 1 minute, everybody sort of forgot about how the great things he's done. So I think when you do this, you are in the limelight, and it doesn't matter. Somebody may be having a bad day when they're writing a comment about you. It doesn't necessarily reflect that is the kind of person they are. Somebody may just got a sack letter, or they just got sent out of their apartment, and then they see your show. They're already looking for a place to vent, and then you are vexing them because you are laughing about something that is very dear to them. They are saying that you should be obedient, but you are laughing. You are talking about Peter Obi going to Egypt, and so they come on there and they cuss you out. They've forgotten about what they did. Why would I now see them be crying over something that the person that even typed it has forgotten? And the most amazing thing is, a lot of people, when they abuse you online, when they see you physically, they're actually not like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But let me we are going to go back so that you show some of the pictures of how you started. We are totally running out of time. I'm not happy about this. We have so much things to cover. But let me play a little bit of this video. I think you will identify this video.
What's your name?
Good luck.
Listen, you are in the house of the Almighty. Stop lying.
No, my name is Good Luck. Good luck.
Nobody gets to heaven by luck. You get to heaven only by His grace. So I ask you again, what's your name?
Good Grace.
And where are you from?
Abuja.
Nobody comes here from Abuja. Nobody but the thieves. Where are you from?
Bayelsa.
And why are you here?
I'm here to make a confession.
Yes, I'm listening.
I'm a witch for the IMF.
The IMF does not send witch.
All right, I know. Wow. They're familiar with this. So
what prompted that script, Rudolph? Why did you write that script?
So look at Sammy. This okay? No. And the issue is this. Because of all the bad things that you did,
that I did.
you produced this. You edited that video. People don't know this till today. That you made a whole president of the country kneel down for hours, telling the director to repeat and repeat and repeat.
I have nothing to do with this video. Am I in the video? What evidence do you have?
But this is the point. There's a bigger point here. People say to you, and I'm sure they say that to me too, that when Jonathan was in power, you guys were all about Jonathan, holding him, trying to get him to do the right thing. But when Buhari became president,
so how do you feel now that Buhari has done worse than Jonathan? You are yet to write a script as Buhari kneeling down and getting slapped. You need to redeem yourself.
No,
I would gladly direct that one.
The question is to you. So, do you think that there is any legitimacy in that argument that people make, that you were not as harsh on Buhari as you were on Jonathan?
That's not true. First of all, what you say just now, that's your own content, not mine. Don't mix water with garlic. That one was your own content, not mine. So you can't say I was harsh on Jonathan because of your video, just because I directed.
So we played where you confronted him on the streets.
I know.
In New York, yeah.
Well, I've not had the opportunity to confront Buhari.
You sat down with Buhari and he told you
that was like 2 months after he became president. He has not done anything at the time. What was I supposed to bring up at the time?
No, I'm just saying.
No, 2 months after he was sworn in, what was I supposed to bring up?
But
the second time that I had the opportunity, okay, I will tell the story. The second time that I had the opportunity to interview Buhari was 2017. At that time, things had started going bad. And I had requested to interview him before coming to New York through Femi Adesina. They had agreed. We all went there together. Rudolph, no, so, you were inside the room. We waited almost 4 hours before them. First of all, before he even came out, the chief of staff called me to his hotel room. Remember that time? Abakiari accused me of lying, that I shouldn't. He called me into his room. He said I shouldn't even be here, and that he should just tell them to pack me out, carry me out right now, and collect my press pass, because they found out that I lied. I actually work for Sahara, and then I lied and said that I'm working for the Nation newspaper, and that I wanted to interview Buhari, and he went on and on for almost 10 minutes, upset.